A comprehensive summary of Deuteronomy. All 34 chapters. The book of Deuteronomy, the fifth book of the Bible, is a series of speeches delivered by Moses to the Israelites before they entered the Promised Land. It reiterates the covenant between God and his people, emphasizing obedience, faithfulness, and love for God. The name, Deuteronomy, means second law, as it restates and expands upon the laws given earlier in Exodus and Leviticus. Chapters 1 to 4. Moses' first speech, a call to remember. Moses begins by recounting Israel's journey from Egypt to the edge of the Promised Land. He reminds the people of their past failures, including their disobedience at Kadesh Barnea and the resulting 40 years of wandering in the wilderness. He highlights God's faithfulness and provision throughout their journey, encouraging the Israelites to trust and obey God as they prepare to enter the land. Chapters 5 to 11. Moses' second speech, the covenant restated. This section focuses on restating and emphasizing the covenant. 1. The Ten Commandments, Chapter 5. Moses reminds the Israelites of God's foundational laws given at Mount Sinai. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4. 3. Warnings against idolatry, Chapters 7 to 8. Moses stresses the importance of remaining faithful to God and avoiding the practices of surrounding nations. 4. Lessons from the past, Chapters 9 to 11. Moses recounts instances of Israel's rebellion, such as the golden calf incident, and God's mercy in forgiving them. Moses urges the Israelites to choose life and blessings by obeying God. Chapters 12 to 26. Moses' third speech, Laws for Life in the Promised Land. This section contains detailed instructions for living in the land God is giving them. The laws cover a wide range of topics. 1. Worship, Chapter 12. Centralizing worship at a single place chosen by God. 2. Prohibition of idolatry, Chapter 13. Strict warnings against false gods and prophets. 3. Dietary and purity laws, Chapter 14. Rules about clean and unclean foods. 4. Social justice, Chapters 15 to 16. Instructions on debt forgiveness, care for the poor, and the observance of festivals like Passover and the Feast of Weeks. 5. Leadership, Chapters 17 to 18. Guidelines for kings, priests, and prophets. 6. Criminal and civil laws, Chapters 19 to 25. Covering issues like justice, warfare, family relationships, and fair treatment of others. The laws are practical and emphasize justice, compassion, and reverence for God. Chapter 27 to 28. Blessings and curses. Moses instructs the Israelites to hold a ceremony on Mount Ebal and Mount Gerizim once they enter the land. They are to pronounce blessings for obedience and curses for disobedience. Chapter 28 details the rewards for faithfulness, including prosperity, peace, and protection, as well as the severe consequences of turning away from God, such as famine, defeat, and exile. Chapters 29 to 30. Renewing the covenant. Moses leads the people in renewing their covenant with God. He calls them to choose life by loving and obeying God. Moses underscores that their future depends on their choices. I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life. Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 19. Chapters 31 to 34. Moses' final acts and farewell. In his final days, Moses appoints Joshua as his successor and delivers the law to the priests to ensure it is read to the people every 7 years. 1. The Song of Moses, Chapter 32. A poetic warning and reminder of God's faithfulness. 2. Moses' blessing, Chapter 3:3. He blesses each of the 12 tribes. 3. Moses' death, Chapter 34. Moses ascends Mount Nebo, where God shows him the Promised Land. 3. He dies there at the age of 120, and the Bible notes that no prophet like Moses ever arose again in Israel. The legacy of Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy is a profound call to obedience and faithfulness. It reminds us of God's covenantal love, the importance of living according to his commands, and the consequences of our choices. Through Moses' words, Deuteronomy encourages us to love God wholeheartedly and trust his promises, serving as a timeless guide for living in relationship with him.